I'm Gary Numan. We're at the Forum in London, and this is the last gig of my little Telekon Mini Tour, which is a look back at 1980 album that I did. We're just doing songs from that one album. We're going to have a look at the gear. So where do we start? This is my little setup. It's just a very basic little MIDI keyboard that's fine, an old D550 over the other side with a polymove sound in it. I only use this on one song, a bit of one song. It's more of a gimmick really.
It's not. I mean, you don't often use. It's not often we see you behind the keyboard really these days, is it?
Not really, no. And it's one particular song. It's useful that I can do something. That's all. But it's not the most important part in the whole set.
Yeah,
that's for sure. And I'm not used to it, and I do find there's a fair bit of pressure having to play the. How these blokes can do like an hour and a half a night, and they've got to play the right note. I couldn't do it. It's bad enough trying to remember my words, let alone do it here. It's nice.
Yeah, I suppose that the big keyboard setup at the back there is the. We've
got two. This is Dave's one.
Yeah.
And then David's one's over there, and they generally do different parts of the keyboard setup.
Yeah.
Most of the piano lead lines is done over here.
Yeah.
And most of the big heavy end lower stuff is all done with David over there. So their keyboard setup is quite different because of that.
Yeah.
Although there are some similarities. Did you want to have a
yeah.
Which constantly changes. So he's a bit of a gearbox thing. He's just been. You kind of have to hold him back and just keep adding more and more technology to the whole thing.
So what have we actually got on here today then?
I don't know what. I don't even know myself.
Well, the centrepiece would be your access bars. Lovely fat synth, which is helping us recreate some of the early Moogs.
Any reason why? I mean, any reason other than reliability that you didn't go for?
Stop you there.
Yeah.
Stop you there. Reliability.
Yeah.
We've actually got a broken module today, which I'm just putting some last minute patches into because one of these went down yesterday, and that's only semi-vintage.
Yeah.
Actual vintage synth. You had a lot of trouble in the early days with tuning
and it's unnecessary. When something like a virus can recreate anything, in my opinion, anything that the early generation synthesizers did, and it can do it better, and it probably won't go wrong, and it stays in tune. But realistically,
such as wooden end cheeks.
That's it.
Have you kept any of the old gear?
I've got a mini mood that I've had in my garage. I did find a little while ago. I found a CP70, the old electric piano thing. Sold it
behind the coffee table. Right?
It's in the corner garage in the fight, and I had to move house. So we moved all the gear out, and we sort of emptied the garage, and there it was. And it's huge. I don't know, I've missed it, but it's been there since 1980. Never been out of its flight case since 1981 it would be, because I think it played at Wembley. Not been out of its flight case since. And bloke said he'd never seen one internally in such immaculate condition. I only used it on about 15 shows, 20 shows at the most.
Yeah.
And then put in a flight case, forgotten.
Yeah.
The technology moved on.
Yeah.
Didn't think about it. So no, not really. Not much old gear.
What else have we got on here? I suppose the main bits are over this side, aren't they?
Other than that, these are just sort of other keyboards we're playing. And this one's been drafted in for its piano action because we're doing a couple of piano songs this time, which is unusual but good. Little Novation X station there, which again is quite useful for throwing in analogy sort of sounds. Have you tried
to recreate faithfully, like one?
Pretty faithfully, yeah, a bit mixture of both. Toughen them up.
It's a mixture of both. Where sounds are important, and you feel as if they were a key element of the original track, and I think it's important to get as close to them as possible. And it isn't that difficult to get close to them. Other sounds, which are perhaps less important, you can then mess about with and do more things too.
Yeah.
The other thing that is important is I'm doing the songs from the Telekon album 1980. I don't necessarily want to do them exactly as they were. So where possible, without it destroying the song or the feel of the original song, we're trying to make things heavier, and bigger, and slightly more aggressively to start with, within the parameters of staying fairly true to the original record. So it's a difficult line to follow, and I'm sure there'll be some fans that say it's not quite the way it was in a bad way, and other people saying it's quite the way it was, but it's a little bit better. There's going to be different opinions, but we feel that we're reasonably close to the originals, and where we've changed it is simply to make it slightly bigger and more impressive in this sort of environment.
I mean, the Novations they are great little analog sounding machines, aren't they, really? And programmed, I mean, you kind of tweaked around yourself?
Oh yeah, we've been constructing the sounds from scratch already.
Yeah. And then on the sort of console, on the tower here?
Yeah, over here in the D550 you've got a couple of sounds that Gary programmed in probably mid-80s, was it?
Yeah.
Late 80s.
This is what I initially started to use to replace polymoves. I didn't have a problem with the old D550 finding a really good polymove sound. People say, I remember people saying you can't probe in D550s, and they're rubbish.
Yeah, it was pretty fiddly though, to be fair.
I've got one of those little controller things with faders on it, absolutely.
And we sometimes back that up with a sort of cutting analog sound with a bit of portamento on it, and that the combination of the two gives the thing.
Yeah. The mixing desk just for you on stage?
Yeah, I've mixed down to stereo here, and it makes it a lot easier for the others, if we thrash it out in rehearsal and get the balances.
So everything on here is going through there?
Yeah, and that would be another reason for using the sort of analog digital things, because once you've fixed your patch level and saved it to memory, then it makes the PA guy's job a lot easier, because nothing comes poking out too unexpectedly.
Yeah. Nice bunch of power supplies down there.
Yeah, we've got a couple of spares too, but that's the only scary bit of the rig, actually.
Is this the faulty machine? Just
that's in disgrace.
So what's gone off there then? Really?
Just an internal fuse is blown, and we haven't got time to look any further than that. But it keeps blowing, so it must be poorly.
And so you've transferred everything over from...
Yeah, I'm just going through now.
Yeah.
Last minute, unfortunately, but at least it's not the middle of the set, eh?
Yeah. It actually went on the last song.
The last song of the last night.
Yeah. Oh, last night?
Yeah, well, night before it was here with Delphister. One song to go, went completely blank, which was a little bit disconcerting because my entire patch changes for the whole rig go through that unit and through to the others.
Yeah.
It's quite impressive though. I mean, I've been using them since they came out, and it's the first one that's ever gone down.
Yeah.
So, it says a lot for it. Actually.
Yeah. How long did you program? How long did you spend sort of getting sounds together for the tour?
Well, it wasn't that difficult.
I suppose there's not. There's quite a few tunes that you've not done for.
Well, we've done most of it over the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Be it one song here, one song there. We've actually done most of them. I think there's in the set. There's probably 5
that we've never touched.
5 or 6 that we've not touched. But the rest of it we have. So we had a really good starting point for most of the songs. On the others, not that difficult really, because the sounds weren't that dissimilar from what we've already
we did
used.
a couple of days before the other musicians came in, and then just in the early couple of days of the rehearsals really we sort of thrashed it out.
Yeah. Okay, should we go and have a look at the other side then?